There's a part of real estate that doesn't always get talked about enough, and it's one of the most impactful places an agent can serve. And today I am joined by Emiley Rios, founder of Rios & Co. Real Estate and what I love to call a quiet powerhouse. Emiley has built a business centered on helping seniors and families navigate some of the life's biggest transition with care, clarity, and deep intention. This conversation goes far beyond transactions. We're talking about why the senior market is so underserved, how empathy and relationships create powerful referral-based businesses, and what it looks like to build a business that matters without sacrificing your values, or how you can actually double your business today with this niche. If you've ever felt called to do work that's more meaningful, more relational, and more aligned, this episode is going to stay with you, and I want to dive right into it. How do entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and experts like you scale a massive business all while having fun and impacting lives? Welcome to the Play Bigger podcast. I'm your host, Raquel Quinnett, business coach, real estate entrepreneur, investor, wife, and sports mom. This podcast will give you real quick tips, strategies, tools, and inspire you to play bigger in business and in life. Are you ready? Let's grow to the next level. Welcome to the Play Bigger podcast. This show is for entrepreneurs who want to play bigger in business and in life. And today I have a very special guest who I am incredibly excited for this conversation. I want to say that I tell everybody she is a quiet powerhouse. She's the founder of Rios & Co. Real Estate. She is one of my most favorite people because she brings such a bright light to this world, because she's got this beautiful heart. She's a trusted real estate professional in the Spokane area who specializes in helping moms and seniors with care, with clarity, with intention. She's built her business around relationships, around empathy, around referrals, and understanding seniors at some of the highest levels of their biggest transition. And I'm grateful to have her here today for you to all gain some wisdom, heart, and perspective around the conversation that she's going to bring. So welcome to the show, Emiley Rios.
Thank you. And I just want to say you are welcome to introduce me anytime. I would love to hear that introduction every time. I'm like, oh, who's that wonderful person she's talking about? Oh, it's me. That's me.
I'd be so honored to. So I want to dive right into it because I've got a million questions for you. And I know our audience that's either listening to this on a podcast or watching it on YouTube probably is so excited to hear about this conversation, because I truly believe that what you have built is an underserved market. And so I want to go and take it back to you and your husband have built this business around helping seniors, around referrals. I want to know, how did this all start? Did it happen to fall on your lap, or you guys actually had a plan and were we're going to go after seniors? Because it's not very common in our industry.
No, actually. So it actually started back before real estate. I worked in senior living. I was an executive in senior living. And it got to the point, I loved what I did. It was my heart and soul. I grew up in senior living with my mom being a director of nursing my entire life. And I just naturally fell into that role as senior living executive. And it came to a point where it just wasn't good for my family anymore. And at one point, my husband's like, you're going to choose between your career and your family. And instantly I ended that call with him and I sent in my notice. And I walked away from this whole senior living empire that I had been building years and years in the making, because I wanted my family. And the situation was that I just worked too much. I was always gone, and we have 4 kids, so I was always gone. I'd leave before they woke up. I'd come home, we'd eat dinner, and they'd go straight to bed. And so I just didn't want to miss out on their lives anymore. So the transition into real estate was really easy. And when I left senior living, it actually really broke my heart. It was a really hard decision to do. It was something I was super passionate about and something I was really good at. And something that I really felt proud. It was something that I knew at the end of the day, I was making a difference in these seniors' lives. And so walking away was really, really difficult for me. And so when I started in real estate, I decided not to go after the senior market. I was going to be as far away from it as possible.
But you knew all about it.
I did. And so for the first 2 years, I actually was not involved in seniors at all, as a way of kind of protecting my own emotional well-being. But what I found is like every few months, I would scroll Indeed looking for senior living jobs because I just really missed it. And then I had the thought, well, why do I have to choose? Why do I have to choose between serving the population that I love and real estate? Why can't it be combined? Because nobody does it like I could do it. About that time is when my mom actually was in a terrible car accident, a life-altering accident, and it was time for her to need care. And though I had been in senior living for years, I didn't know where to turn. And I thought, I can create something great here. What if I was a connector and I was able to help all the people in senior living maneuver through the cycle, but still have it pertain to real estate? And that's when it really took off.
I actually, and I think that's how we connected as well, because obviously everyone that listens to this podcast knows like some of the things that I had to maneuver through. One of the hardest years was trying to get care for my mother last year. And I'm like, we need more people like you in our industry that really understand, because there's so many questions that you have. Do you keep her at home? Do you have, do you move her to a care home? What's covered? All these things. So when was the moment that you actually realized that this isn't just a niche, it's my mission?
Well,
Because
I
you
think
really have that heart. Yeah.
I think deep down, I always knew it was my mission. But going through this cycle with my mom and then hearing other clients just talk about their parents and how they really struggled, I really realized that I could really niche down and serve the senior living population, but I was going to do it in a meaningful way. So I decided that I wanted to be a connector, and I wanted to provide seniors with all the education pieces, or rather like their loved ones with all the education piece. That I wanted to create this senior seminar that would answer every question that a loved one had about their aging parents or their aging family member, and that I was going to be like this one-stop shop. So whether it was, I need a referral for an estate planner or a trust advisor or financial planner, or I need a traveling podiatrist, I was going to serve my clients on that level.
Yeah.
Like I wanted them to be able to come to me and ask any question, and I was just going to have an answer for it. And so I created that within a senior seminars, and I did it from heart. And then it grew into this huge thing for us where one senior seminar brought us 11 listings.
Yeah, I hope you guys heard that, agents that are listening. One seminar brought 11 listings. I know one of the things that agents have a hard time with is niching, and they don't realize the impact or how big this market is, right? Like she just said, 11 listings from one seminar. And there's not a lot of agents that actually, if you were to look in our industry, that specialize in senior transitions. So,
Yeah, and that being said, also, I don't think that the people that are specialized are doing it in a correct manner either. And I was able to set myself apart because I'd been in that world previously. There's a huge need, and it's a population that's ever revolving, right? We're always going to have aging people.
Yeah. What have you noticed about seniors that most agents are completely overlooking when it comes to this niche or it comes to this market?
Oh, I would say that the biggest thing is time. You cannot rush a maturing, as we like to say it, a maturing person. They need you to walk through their house and hear the stories that have been in there. They want to tell you about their grandkids. They want to point out pictures on the walls, which as real estate agents, we're going around typically and we're saying, remove this from the wall, pack up this, blah, blah, blah. And it's just a much slower process. So a huge difference is just time management and understanding that every step of the way is very emotional for them. A lot of times they're leaving a home that they've been in 30 years, that they've raised their kids in, and they're going to a place that they don't really want to be. And so communication, taking the time to really just be with them and be aware of their feelings is huge.
So patience is definitely something that you'll need if you're going to serve this market. We have actually helped some seniors and or maturing, as Emily would say. And I think one of the things that I didn't notice until, we had done it a few times is how much they collect in the home of 30 years and how they're not willing to let it go yet, even in personal belongings. I mean, you go to a normal listing and you're like, take this down, take this down, take this down, because we want to declutter. It's a little different when you've been living in a home for 40 years and there's a lot of like knickknacks and antiques and different things that they want to preserve or hold on to. Like, how do you navigate through that? Or what would you tell some of the people that really want to get into this niche about that process?
So it's really a matter of having professionals on your team. And I'm not talking about photographers and videographers, but you need to have a real team in place, an estate sale person, an antique advisor. You need to have people that can really grab onto that history and put it together so that it's always there for them. So that while they might not be able to take the individual items, they can take photographs and things of those items and have them with them in their new home. A lot of times they're moving into assisted living facilities or nursing homes, and there's not room for their stuff. So just having a great team in place that will come up and take care in packing up everything is really key. And then, we even have down to like specialized movers who specialize in senior transitions, and making sure that everyone along the way understands a senior. And it's not as difficult to find as it might seem. So you might be thinking like, Emily, okay, how do I find all these people? It's not that difficult. They are in every single community. It's just that you have to know where to look and how to look for them.
So speaking of team, I love that you brought you have to actually have a specialized team that is on board and understands our client. Mm-hmm. And in this case, a senior, right? So like if an agent wanted to get into this market, what should they have on their team? Who should they have on their team?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, most important is actually having an estate planning attorney on your team. As it might seem silly, but we need to navigate things through a legal capacity and make sure that the loved ones are able to make the decisions that are needed. Because again, most of the time these maturing people don't want to leave their home. It's not always a happy go. And so first off, I would say in estate planning or somebody who specializes in trust, you need a financial advisor, because surprise, assisted livings are very expensive. So we need to have a plan on how you're going to pay for mom's care for many years, hopefully many years to come. You're going to need a tax accountant that specializes in inheritance taxes to make sure that when mom leaves that the children are not going to be penalized for it. And then you need to have, I always say, an estate sale person. Like I had mentioned before, a mover. Sometimes they even need a traveling podiatrist. So anybody that specializes in seniors, you want on your team. And the biggest one that I would say, one of the very top ones, is you need to be working with a senior placement agency to help find the right place for mom to go to.
Yeah, so like where they're going to go next, whether it is assisted living, a care home, or something else, or a senior living apartment.
Yeah, or even a senior placement agency that has a connection with in-home care, because maybe you're moving mom to your own house, but you're not. You need some support on the care front there.
Yeah, I love all that. And so a lot of times when it comes to helping people, let's just say divorces, or there's like an argument within the brothers or sisters. I could see this, like, mom needs to move, there's equity in the house. Like, how do you navigate through that? Because it's such a sensitive topic.
Yeah, I always say that the ugliest topics are always money.
Yeah.
It either brings out the worst in people or the best in people. And unfortunately, when you're dealing with aging families, a lot of times it's the worst. And so another key reason to have an attorney there present to help you navigate and do mediation through the process really helps.
Yeah. So how does empathy and patient skills, um, you know, factor in as you play a role in helping this clientele?
Well, I kind of mentioned before already, just taking the time to cycle through and really listen. So the key thing with seniors, they want to be heard. They don't care how many houses you've sold. They don't care if you're a top producer. They do not care what awards you have earned. They want to sit down with you, look you in the face, and be heard. And so taking time is so necessary and such a process. But even that's why I'm even choosing on which moving companies I like to use. Because I want somebody that will allow my client to talk about the porcelain doll her grandmother gave her back, when she was a little girl, as they put it in the box. So that's where patience and empathy really comes in.
So for agents that want to get into this market, where should they start?
Well, they should probably reach out to me because I am the expert. And I can teach them how to do this exact thing that I'm doing in their market. But also, I think just really finding ways to volunteer in the senior community, wherever you're at, is key to really get an understanding of, like, do I even like being around aging people? Because you have the nice little old granny, and then you have ones like mine who are crotchety old people. So, making sure it's a good fit for you is key, but you're not going to learn about them unless you're around them. And so I always suggest just doing some volunteer work, either at local senior centers or even like the YMCA. I used to attend YMCA Silver Sneakers. First of all, they are hoots. They are so funny, but it's also low impact. So I like to be around old people all the time.
We actually, at the Suns game, they'll sometimes come and they'll do the silver sneakers like dance, and all the grannies will come in, and it's like the cutest thing ever. So I know that we're in such a fast-paced environment, especially today with like AI and tech. When it comes to seniors, how do you navigate through? They don't have DocuSign. They don't have SkySlope. Some of them don't even own a computer,
Yeah.
right? So how do you navigate through all of that?
Yeah, we're going old school here. We're pen and paper, literally. And that's why it's so much time. Is like, if I go to a listing appointment normally, I'll plan an hour and a half. If I'm going for a senior, I'm planning 3 hours to be there. But I'm taking everything I could possibly think of with me. So I'm taking all the documents with me. But then also, most of the time, there is a loved one, a daughter, a friend, a cousin, somebody who can assist them in the process. So I always say, make sure that key person is in every meeting to help facilitate through the process, because it can be very, very difficult.
How do you intentionally design your business so that it supports seniors or our mature like clientele? And like, is there a different piece to like marketing versus your traditional real estate marketing that we're so accustomed to in this industry?
Oh, it is so different. Completely different. When I'm marketing for this niche in particular, I'm not actually speaking to the aging loved ones. I'm speaking to their family member. The one who's visiting them at Christmas and notices that, hey, the dishes are piling up, or hey, I noticed that there's all this trash here, or medicine bottles aren't as empty as they should be. So I'm actually marketing to their loved ones and trying to get them to notice what things are out of the norm for somebody their loved one's age.
Do you ever discover, Emily, through the process that when you're marketing to the loved ones, you're trying to decide if they don't have, like, let's say a living trust, like who the actual decision maker is or who the POA is, and like what if they're like in a totally different state and another sibling saying like, no, it's me. Like I could just see this on the other side of the spectrum.
Absolutely. And
And I
that's
know you've got like systems probably set up for this.
Yeah, and that's why your number one person on your team is an attorney to help navigate through that. So my first conversation is always, are you the personal representative of the estate if it's a probate? If it's an actual senior, an aging loved one, I'm saying, do you have financial power of attorney and decision making for care? And if not, my first call is always to set them up with an attorney to establish that as well.
How big would you say is this market is when it comes to this niche? Because I don't think agents really realize
Right.
how much of a need there is in this industry for this niche.
The great thing about it is that agents don't realize that it's a thing. And like I mentioned, they don't know how to market to it. So a lot of agents will go into a senior living, assisted living, or memory care unit, and they will try and get together with their marketing person there. It's too late, guys. If you are there, it's too late. We need to get them ahead of time, and that's why we need to market to their family members. But on average, I mean, it's a huge part of our business. We ended up doubling our business 2 years ago. We went 2 or 3 years ago, can't remember. We went from 20 transaction to 40, and the difference was seniors making relationships. So it was a combination of marketing to seniors, to doing senior seminars, which if you're not doing, you have to be doing, and then pairing up with an estate attorney.
So really, like the partnerships, I think, is, if I've heard you loud and clear, are really important, whether it's on your team that you're building to help your clients or in the community, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think that the community partnerships are just as important as the structures that you have and the systems you have within your own business.
If you like knowing what you know, and by the way, she said they doubled their business just by adding, this particular niche of helping.
Yeah, I mean literally doubled it. We went from 23 transactions to 46 the next year.
Yeah, and just this year, it's only January. Like what did you tell me the other day? That your biggest listings came from where?
Yeah, so I have $2 million+ listings in our area. That's huge. So our medium price is like low 400s. So my 2 largest listings have come from this senior network that I've established within our community.
That's wild. So a lot of people think like you just have to go into luxury when really you can actually serve a clientele, which I love about this business model, because you still can jump in purchase price by having the right relationships and marketing to the right clientele, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually get really nerdy about this piece because if you think about the majority of these seniors, they haven't moved in the last 10 years. 15 years. As you're aging, you want to move less and less, right? Maybe they've downsized at some point, but they don't want to continue moving, which means they're sitting on a ton of equity. They've owned their houses pre-COVID, so they bought their house super low. It's worth a lot more money now. And so just the nicest houses, I mean, we do the best houses, the best clients are always these seniors.
That's awesome. What would you say, knowing that you've done these transactions, you've helped so many different people, is like, what's something that you wish you would have known when you first started?
I guess it's not that I wish I had known something, it's that I wish I would have done it sooner. I wish I would have thought about it sooner and made a plan of action and executed sooner, because I think that our business would be tenfold of what it is today had we done that. As far as if somebody just wanted to start out and was searching for this niche, I would tell them to just really start looking at partnerships in the community. Everybody knows of somebody who's aging, so go to them and say, who do you like working with? Right? Because in the olden days, before social media and everything, how did you hear about new businesses? It was word of mouth. And word of mouth is huge within seniors. So I always go to them and I say, okay, what attorney did you like working with? if you were to get your hair done, where would you go? And they love this conversations too because they want to tell you everything, right? They have so much information to share. So
And they probably
my
have been in the
advice would be
community.
start with them.
Yeah, and they've probably been in the community for quite some time, right? Because they've lived in their home. So, what I love about like what you have shared, you actually started building something because you understood that like this absolutely needs to exist, Raquel, in our industry. So, what are you up to? What are you building? How can agents kind of plug into what you're building?
So I've been working on what is called the Silver Stage Agent Network. So everything an agent who would like to specialize in the senior market, in the senior niche, everything that you would need in a one-stop shop. So, I mean, it is call logs, it's marketing templates, it's how to find the right partnerships, everything that you would need in order to be in this niche and to be running from day one is included.
You know what's so interesting, and I love that Emily's actually building this, or she's built this, and she's now willing to share it with our industry, is because even when we did the research, there, like, you could barely find anything on YouTube on this niche. You could barely find anything on social media and actually find agents that really serve. Like if Emily had a referral in Arizona, like where would she go? If she had one in California, where would she go? And so like I love that she's building not only tools for the agents, but she's also helping like bring agents that really want to serve this as a network. So I really think that is so cool, and I just love your passion behind it. I love your heart behind it, right? And I always say that I wish I met the Emily when I was navigating through all of this on my own, right? So where do you see this movement going?
Well, I really have set this network up to have everything that somebody needs. I mean, I have the social media, I have everything that you're going to post on social media. I have the scripts for YouTube channels. I have a workbook on taking notes when you're meeting with different family members. And my hope is to take this nationwide and to bring awareness to such a needed niche and to educate agents on how to do things properly and how to make a bunch of money in the meantime doing the work.
Yeah, because how much, like you look at you doubled your business, and you know, you probably, if a agent wanted to join your network or and be a part of this like program, what could they on an average like anticipate?
I would anticipate them adding at least another 15 transactions every year.
That's probably some people's year right there.
Yeah, I know in our market that if you sell 15 houses, you're in the top 15%. And so it's a very overlooked niche. There's a lot of opportunity here, and within the network that I'm creating, it doesn't just stop at one place. It's continued marketing material throughout as long as you want to be a part of it. It's referrals nationwide. It's connecting agents with other agents who are specializing in seniors.
Yeah, I love that. Where can people like connect with you? Where can they find out more information about, how they can, learn more?
Yeah, so Instagram's the best way. Reach out to me on Instagram. I'm the realtor for Messy Mamas, and I can get you connected to the network through there.
We will also put it in the show notes as we wrap up. Is there any advice that you would like to say to the agent that's listening to this podcast?
I think I've said it multiple times throughout, but don't sit and think on this, right? I know that in multiple conferences that I've attended this year, they've talked about senior living and aging people, right? We know that people are going to continue to age. So don't miss out on the opportunity. Jump in full with both feet before the market gets taken over.
Yeah, and there's always one question that I ask every single guest on the show is, what does Emily do to play bigger, either in business or in life?
Oh, what do I do to play bigger in business? Well, I believe in Okay, well, in business, I believe in coaching 100% and just dialed in and focus on one thing at a time. To play bigger in life, I believe in spending as much time as possible with your family, making as many memories as possible.
Emily, you are such a powerhouse. It's been so awesome to see you grow. It's been really awesome to actually see you build something so special that I know one day everyone's going to say, I wish I would have started sooner. And I will never forget when I heard Emily on the show and how much she has impacted my life to go impact other people's lives. So I want to say thank you for being on our show. Thank you for dropping lots of knowledge in regards to your business and your heart for helping so many people that need it.
Thanks for having me.